Welcome, Gods of War fight fans, to our latest podcast. Sheesh.
How's it, guys?
It's been a while, eh?
It's been a while.
We've been busy. We've been busy. We've watched a lot of fights. Obviously, as we know, COVID has kept us separated and level 4 and all of these funny, fancy things. So, we back. EFC 88, I think, how do we say in Afrikaans? Gaan we die voordeur in die sitkamer inval. Like,
yeah.
Let's talk about that. So,
let's talk about the elephant in the room, you know?
So the heavyweight fight, how did you think? That's not the elephant in the room. I think I'll tell you about that story if you haven't heard. A lot of you might not have heard. But firstly, the opening fight of EFC 88, referee Natasha Brits. It was the Julio Plaatjes fight. Julio Plaatjes won. I think it was against Ntene, if I'm not mistaken. Referee Natasha Brits received a lot of flack from the not just local, call it journalists.
No, John McCarthy got involved.
Big John McCarthy got involved there. Basically, just a quick background. Julio Plaatjes was, I think he was like a continental champion. He came second in Worlds in 2018. Fought against Ntene and locked in a rear naked choke. And basically choked the guy out. He went limp.
Yeah, I'll put the footage up. I'll put it up for you.
Yeah, thank you. He basically went limp. She picked up, what happened was Julio adjusted, rolled over with him, and you can see the athlete's eyes roll back in his head, rolls back to the front, straightens him out from the rear naked choke position.
Yeah, he was already out when he got
He was already out. So then the body turns into a spasm. Firstly goes stiff from like no oxygen. Very, very scary.
He woke up,
Yeah. Then basically
there was more spasm than, yeah.
Then she the ref picked up the hand like WWE style, and only on the second or third drop did she actually stop it, and it took them 5 minutes to get Ntene.
Yeah, scary stuff.
It was scary to watch. So as scary as that is to watch, Big L podcast. I mean, he's one of the leading journalists in South Africa when it comes to the sport of MMA. Gave scathing criticism to MMA SA and to the board. We've all done the refereeing course with Ferdi. Ferdi heads up head of refereeing for MMA SA. And you know what? For Big L to come and give scathing criticism, you need to take a step back and you need to evaluate things, in my mind, objectively. You know, yes, referee Natasha Brits, we can call it made a fuck up. Let's call a spade a spade. You saw the footage.
Yeah, so it was so scary.
It was very scary. So it was a big mistake. We saw on social media that she acknowledged it. She takes it on the chin and wants to improve. Which big ups from our side.
Yeah, of course. For me to come in quickly, I mean, we both done the refereeing course. I've refed 4 events.
You're a B-level ref.
I'm a B-level ref, and let me tell you, we all make mistakes. And it's not easy. It's not easy being a ref because, especially for someone who's not used to all the big lights and the shouting, the screaming, and the interference of the coaches, and
sometimes the promoter.
Sometimes the promoter. We've had Martin screaming and shouting at me, already. So it's not easy. It's not easy, and the fact that she's acknowledged that she's made a mistake.
Yeah.
And I also don't want to be too critical on her. It was a big mistake to make, bad mistake to make. I mean, we've received international criticism because of it. The way forward, I don't know. I'd leave it in the hands of Marcel to make their decision.
Yeah, MMA SA is launching an investigation.
Yeah, and more than that, we can't ask. And let me tell you another thing. Before MMA SA, prior to the other people being involved, we're not going to get into that. I mean, since Raymond's come on board and Ferdi in it, I mean, it's been a massive shift. I mean, we can't deny it. Yeah. It's been a massive shift.
For the better.
For the better. We've seen it, and we're not here to smoke up Raymond and Ferdi as well. I'm not here to do the leaders here. But we also wanted to call a spade a spade. We know what we were working with before, and we know what we're working with now.
Exactly.
And it's been a massive difference. And for that, I'm grateful.
Yes.
Because we've had promotions in our town that has been a complete disaster. Refereeing, judging, putting fights together. It's just been chaos. Absolute chaos. And now that there's some normality, there also
some
been guidelines that we can all abide by. They're still being attacked, which I think is a bit wrong. Yeah. I don't agree with that.
But
and also, it's like we had this conversation. You can't also put the blame at their door when they've had such massive improvements in the sport, like what we discussed.
So from my point of view, I said to Terence earlier when we had a cup of coffee and we had a chat about the refereeing incident. You have to go and look and say, okay, we have one referee that made a bad mistake, okay, but MMA SA has trained up how many referees? How many of them have actually turned pro? How many have transitioned into the EFC and into the not just the EFC, other pro organizations? So it's a multivariant analysis. You cannot go and pinpoint and say, this is Master's fault, this is MMA SA's fault, this referee is out of line. I think Big L, you out of line because you didn't look at the data. Now we can call a spade a spade. I mean, if you've trained up, let's just thumbs up 50. Let's say MMA SA has managed, and Faraday and the crew, to bring up 50 refs up to A level in the last 3 years. You have one referee under investigation.
That's a good fucking job.
That's a good fucking job. Okay? It is. So if you have 49 out of 50 successful referees, one that made a mistake on her debut, okay? You've got a 98% success rate, and you want to criticize the 2%? Now, we don't know what those facts are. We welcome Raymond if they want to give it to us, and if Big L wants to enter into a debate. This is nothing personal between Gods of War and Big L. You know me, I like to have a warm, lekker debate about facts. Yeah. You know, I like to, let's talk facts.
Facts matter.
Facts matter. You know what I mean? Like if you go and do your homework, like don't this is the committee, this is what happens when it's clicky and buddy. Off what basis are you launching this attack? You have to go and say, these are the total referees trained up. Here's the mistakes that we've isolated. Maybe it's not just one mistake. Maybe we're sitting here, we know of Natasha Brits, who admitted it. And I mean, kudos to her, big up. She's stepping up, taking it on the chin, saying she's going to go back to the drawing board.
We're just happy the fight is okay at the end of the day.
Exactly.
You know, the fight is okay. So I mean, that's the main thing. And I mean, we no one wants to see a fight to get it. Nobody.
Yeah.
It's not good for the sport. No. It's not good for the image worldwide. Nobody wants it. You know, we're trying to build something here. You know.
So you know what? Scathing criticism aside. I think that the EFC has got some work to do. Some of the fights were cancelled last minute. The co-main event with Ricky Micholas, Jean Besaidnout, that would have been the second time they fought each other. I was looking forward to that. That had fight of the night potential. That didn't work. That didn't happen. There was a few other withdrawals on the undercard, and Shannon van Tonder, which I think is a guy for the future, got pulled to the main card out of House of Tinkerbell. Did very well. And then the heavyweight fight. It was
what a story behind that fight.
What a story. Dr. Tamani Mdebela against Triple H Power Mtunza Jikasa.
Yeah.
You can tell us the story. What happened to Mdebela?
I think his father passed away the Saturday before the fight. He was going to withdraw. And his mother spoke him through it and said no, to honour his father, he
needs to step
must pull through, and he won the title, so it quite a story, quite interesting.
Yeah, it was a very emotional story. I mean, he was quite emotional. Simon Stevens, the commentator, I think everybody got a bit emotional. It was an onion. They cut an onion there, you know. Yeah. One thing that was quite, I watched a bit of the undercard because I'm also a Springbok fan. So, I had like 2 TVs going. I had the one
Springboks
screen.
Play the weekend.
In PE. Nobody was there to watch. Yeah. No, like on the one side, I had like the one screen with EFC. I had the other screen with the rugby, sort of casting my eyes both ways. And one thing that to me was quite interesting, obviously the EFC, with lockdown restrictions, we're not allowed any crowds. So similar to what Dana and them are doing with the UFC, is they're having the EFC events as the EFC Performance Institute. They're not renting big venues in Joburg. They're not going to the Coca-Cola Dome, which now been sold.
We buy cars.
We buy cars. So we're
another plug. Yeah.
I can fight in the parking lot there if they go back
like
there.
The old days.
Like the good old days. No, so they're also not doing the Sun City thing, any of that, the Carnival Cities. Now having it at the EFC Performance Institute. And this very fight that we spoke of, Julio Plaikis, while they were taking so long to get the other fight, reconciled with his consciousness, what happened was he was actually in there rubbing himself and instantly called for his crew to bring his beanie and his jacket. Cold, and he was saying he is so cold. So obviously, still in the grips of winter before we head into spring. Maybe something, for the EFC to look at. How do you increase the temp there? Because, you've got guys competing, adrenaline kicks in, but you and I know that...
That eyes will pull a muscle.
Exactly. No, so, the EFC card was Shorter. It was definitely smaller. They lost a few fights. I think there were only three or four fights on the undercard.
Yeah.
That was it. And then like 4 fights on the main card. So a total fight card of eight fights.
Yeah, I think, personally, I hope UFC pulls through. I just think they're struggling, I mean, it's tough times. South Africa's in bad shape economically, we're all struggling. Everyone is struggling. I
hope they pull through.
I hope they pull through. Because it's the only platform that we have in South Africa, where the guys can compete pro-wise, So yeah.
Neville and them in Cape Town, PFC have started like 1 or 2 pro fights. I think he's got a stable of pros that he can pull from. But the EFC is going to have to learn how to share. I've seen those EFC contracts when they sign athletes, Graham. You Oaks are vicious with that. You guys are ruthless because they had the monopoly. I think what happens there is if you sign with the EFC, you're not allowed to fight for another organization unless you've got the EFC's blessing. So I think the EFC will always give their blessing if it is for Brave or whether it is for one championship like Bokang Mosonyane, or if it's UFC like Trickers, for example, they'll release the guys to go to bigger, better organizations. But I don't think that they'll be as kind, to give the EFC athletes to a young and upcoming starter pro organization, because you will be molding and grooming your competition. So we'll see how that goes. But speaking of competition, an unfair one, you can tell us a bit more.
Which one?
Is where there's a lightweight with a broken ankle that wants to talk a lot of cock with the heavyweight who's like a ridiculous wrestler.
Yeah.
So
I reckon, my experience in life, be careful of a nice guy. Guy that's so nice, and that Daniel Cormier, he's such a nice guy. And as I grew up in my life, I've come across those people that actually are always nice. They don't have to prove a point. They don't have to think that they're tough or strong. Those are the guys I'm scared of. Guys that shout and scream and, they want to be the tough guys. I don't worry about those guys. It's always the guy that's nice and friendly. Hey, I don't want to fight. Relax, my brother. He's the guy that ends up hurting people. But anyway, that's his experience. So Conor McGregor, I'm a big fan of, and I'm a big fan of Daniel Cormier.
I'm a big fan of Dustin Poirier.
Yeah, I still taste that tomato in my mouth. But anyway, to clear my throat for this one. Yeah, the issue is I'm also a big fan of respect and a bit of honor, So I can't defend Conor McGregor anymore. I cannot. He is now taking on... And the worst thing that he done, he's been carrying on about Dustin Poirier's wife private messaging him. He's been carrying on he's going to kill his family. And I'll put it down to him sitting in the corner with a broken ankle, fibula, whatever the hell is broken there. And I'll put it down to damaged, dented ego, whatever you want to put it down, adrenaline pumping through his fucking brain. I don't know, whatever. I'll forgive him for that. But the fact now is this is long after the fight, and he's still tweeting shit up. And now he's taking on Daniel Cormier. And the worst part is he's coming off like a snitch. And I heard this on the Chael Sonnen Sonnen talking about him now being a snitch, because apparently Daniel Cormier had a few drinks before he conducted an interview on ESPN, and he now tweeted all this out. And I'm like, we're supposed to be men. We're supposed to, if we want to sort our shit out, let's go outside and with each other. But they're like carrying like a little girl, which is now what it's looking like to me. And that I cannot defend. I can defend Conor McGregor with a lot of things, but tweeting out, "Oh, you had a little drink before you did the interview," is like, wow, really, we're supposed to be men. Leave Daniel Cormier alone. You know what I'm saying?
He's done fighting. Yeah. He's done fighting. He can have his dog.
Yeah, he can. But now to try and get a guy to lose his job and taint your name by ESPN. Even ESPN's going, "Oh, we don't want to talk to you anymore." And I think and rumor has it that Conor McGregor is trying to now start his own promotion as well. And he's been a successful. And the irony of the whole story is, he rocks up at an interview with this proper 12, and he's saying
Daniel Cormier is having a drink. But this guy rocks up with proper fucking 12.
So
hypocrite. He's becoming a hypocrite.
Yeah, no, it's just childish. It's never mind. It's not even a level of hypocrite. It's just childish, and I don't like pimps and guys. Just leave the guy alone. Yeah. And the worst person to pick a fight with, in my eyes, on the planet, is Daniel Cormier. I wouldn't want to really upset that guy.
No. And he's got you can see he's got obviously being a two-time champion, in 2 weight divisions. Only one of 3 Oaks has achieved it. Yeah. Conor, Cormier, and Nunes.
Yeah.
Those are the 3.
But see, at the end of the day,
sorry, and Henry Cejudo.
yeah. How can you
Four.
forget him? He had three different.
Yeah, but he's so
different
short, you
crosses.
overlook him.
Yeah, no, he's small. Fits in my pocket.
Sorry, I overlooked Henry Cejudo. He's gonna be Dick Muru when he comes
he
in.
overlooked him. Yeah.
I'm the Triple C.
Yeah. The worst part for him was when he put fucking nappies on the fucking belts and put them to bed.
okay.
Jesus, I'm like, oh my god. You know? Anyway, stay out of fighting, my brother. Go join the WWE.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, Conor, I really love him as a fighter. But he's lost the plot. I mean, and not the scary part is he's not himself. You know who is Conor McGregor? Because the one time he comes across the second fight the first fight, the second fight with Dustin Poirier was this gentleman. You know, the second one. He was this gentleman of note, and you know, and the first one he was a Durst, third one he was a Durst. So you know, he's trying to develop a persona or a brand. Or I don't know what it is, but he's not himself. Who is he? So he's not himself. So as a fan,
Also, if you like, let's speak results. Conor disappeared 2014, 2015, somewhere around there, and went and did the Mayweather boxing fight. Okay, then disappeared for 3 years away from the sport, building his business empire. Nothing wrong with that. Well done, Conor. Then you come back, you fight your first fight back against Cerrone. Okay, now we all know that Cerrone is on the out.
Still a good fighter, still tough. Still
but he's fucking up his record now.
But he's
ruining his reputation.
He didn't come back and fight a top contender, put it that way, yeah?
So, everybody still thought that Cowboy was a top contender, but he's actually not. And then what happens is, then he goes and he takes another fight with Dustin, the second one, for January, was it January this year? January this year. What happens is, when he fought Dustin Poirier in 2014, for the last 7 years, Dustin Poirier since 2014
he's not the
has
same
developed.
Man. He's not the same man that he was 7 years
And
ago.
all he did for 7 years was hone his craft. You can't come back and expect that after being casual in the sport for a 7-year period, the guys that live and breathe it, and that's why we did that bet back in January, is suddenly going to come back and still be levels above the rest.
Yeah, well,
no, this game evolves. And
definitely.
that's why Dustin Poirier is at the top of the pick now.
Yeah. So and also, you know, Conor wasn't. There's so many rumors and stories. You don't know what to believe. You know, but one of the stories was that he had no coaching staff. He was doing all his own coaching, and you know, no matter how good you are, at the end of the day, there's always someone else who's going to pick up your faults and correct them. You know?
Or kick you on the shin.
and at the end of the day, you know, all these excuses where he was injured before, but we all know that those kicks were checked. I mean, it's a simple. And it's been happening. And people are asking why is it happening more frequent nowadays? And it's because people are not only that, people are adjusting to the techniques. Because before, no one checked the kick. We're pushing their knee forward. A lot of the people were lifting their foot off the ground to check the kick. Now the guys are going into the kick. I mean, that's what I'm seeing. You know,
but you also have to turn your shin. This is why the sport of Muay Thai is so.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're turning. That's what I'm saying.
So you make contact.
Being too technical. What I'm saying is they're pushing their shin into the kick.
So that you get that shin on shin.
Shin on shin.
Bang, you know.
And I mean, I know myself. Two things I hate: giving a roundhouse kick to the rib area, and you catch your elbow when the guy does that. Fuck me. I've had that's happened to me more than the times I'd like to remember. And it's happened to me a few times where I catch the guy's knee, not even his shin, where I kick straight onto his knee, and it's like your fight's finished for me anyway. You know, I mean, I carry injury for many years on my left shin from that very kick where I took a guy's knee and I kicked the guy and I knocked the guy out, but my shin was buggered for life. So you know, and then like for me now, how's Conor going to come back from this? I don't see it. I don't care what anyone says.
But you know, like the thing is, he's not the same guy.
You can't fight a guy like Dustin Poirier with that injury after that. No one's come back from it. I don't care who says what. You can fight lower tier fighters and things like that.
Who is he got? Now there's rumors. I read this rumor yesterday that he thinks, McGregor thinks, because he fought Cerrone at welterweight. I don't know if you remember that. He was a bit bigger, a bit stronger. There was a rumor last night on, I think it was MMA Junkie, the site, MMAJunkie.com. I'll correct it. Maybe you can correct me there. There's a rumor that he wants to challenge Usman for the welterweight strap. Daar gaan jy kak optel. Like that, you know, there's Usman, and the thing is, Usman has been spending a lot of time with Khabib.
Yeah.
Usman and Khabib were actually seen training together just as mates socially.
Yeah.
I mean, and then, Khabib gave an endorsement, and he said, and that was captured and shared worldwide, where he says, Khabib said, in my opinion, the best pound for pound fighter in the world, and he took a photo with Kamaru Usman.
Yeah, no, I saw that photo. Yeah,
So to get that endorsement from Khabib,
yeah.
and now you want to go scratch there?
You know, we had that
Super
chat,
tough.
the chat on Usman's last fight, and he when he fought
Masvidal.
Gamebred Masvidal, we had that chat, and I just said he's just a better athlete. But Masvidal is a great fighter. I think Masvidal is the heart and the determination of a fighter. If 90% of the fighters just had his heart and determination, they'd win more fights. Just on his, he's got the right attitude. He's got the right attitude, the right mentality. I mean, he'll get in tomorrow and fight Usman again. He doesn't care, and he'll try and beat him again because he's got that mentality. But Usman is just a supreme athlete, and I think that's where Conor is lacking. And not only that, these guys are all crossing over and learning from each other and feeding off each other. And Conor is not doing it. Conor is isolating himself, which is what he did prior to the Dustin Poirier fight. He isolated himself. He had his own little clique that he was working with. Yeah. And you know, with that kind of money, you work with yes men. Yes. Oh, no, you are great. And they hold you up to this imaginary person that you're not on.
Just for you to get chopped down from the calf.
Like a tree with a small axe, you know. Sorry. So you know, like, I mean, MMA is ever evolving. This, you know, I saw that. I mean, it took me my whole lifetime to get to a certain point, or say 30 years of my life to get to a certain point where it's taking athletes 15 to 16 years to get to that point.
Yeah, you know? The learning curve is
the learning curve has gone like that, and it's opened up to the masses worldwide. And Conor, to me, has just isolated himself from the world, thinking that he's not going to build this brand around him, which he's done successfully, but it's not going to work in the ring. No, I don't see it. No. And taking on guys that are the main commentators, he's taken on Bisping as well. I mean, your main guys, and the guy Shal made an important point. What happens if they stop talking about McGregor? He says if he just stops talking about McGregor alone, it will make a massive impact in his little in his brand. Yeah. Then you get now it's Daniel Cormier, now it's Bisping. You're three top commentators in the game.
Yeah,
you know. So what is he trying to do? At the end of the day, I don't understand.
You get Rogan to join the crowd, and you will lose a lot. There,
I don't think Rogan's a big fan of him because he's criticised Rogan as well. And you know, who wants? You know, I mean, he's got the biggest platform in the world. You're chopping down guys that
1.5 billion views a year. That's what Rogan is averaging on his podcast. If you add them all up,
it's just crazy.
In a year, 1.5 billion views a year on YouTube.
And if you want to get a good analysis of Joe Rogan, watch Jordan Peterson breaking down. I shared it to you. It's actually a good critique of what Joe Rogan is, and not even Jordan Peterson can work it out.
Yeah, can work it out.
It's quite interesting. Yeah.
But listen, guys, that's us. We suppose we have to do some work.
Yeah.
So, no, we'll definitely be banging these out more often for you guys. We did go a little bit quiet. As we know, the COVID, that we've placed everybody in bubbles and level 4, and we can't get together, and there's a lot of isolation and things like that. But give us a like, give us a comment, give us a share. If you would like us to secure interviews with some of the local athletes, let us know.
Like Drickus, we're waiting for you.
Drickus,
we're waiting for you.
Tag him in here again. We would love to have a chat to Drickus. Let me know if there's any other EFC fighters you would like for us to get involved
Shane as well.
Shane Base.
Yeah, Shane Base as well.
It's my wife watching.
Yeah, Shane, we'd like to hear from you too. Congrats on
Shane is on my list.
Yeah, congrats on everything that you achieved overseas, you know.
And the bonus is obviously life-changing.
What an awesome.
But she's on my list.
Is she on your list?
She's on my list. I don't know if you guys have that list, but and it's just a joke. It's just a joke, especially my wife.
Your wife watches.
Yeah, we all have a list of 5 people that you can hook up with. Let's choose the name.
A nice word, Joe.
5 celebrities that you can hook up with. That you, that your spouse or significant other cannot be close.
Has to
allow it. The only problem is JP Base gaan my wil bliksem. It's also like you're scratching in the salad of a UFC fighter. Yeah. Let me not scratch in the salad, but
mine is Miesha Tate, by the way.
Miesha's also on my list. All right, guys. Don't tell us who's on your list. We can or tell us who's on your list. And we
just
can
by the way, quick one on Miesha Tate. Did you see her comeback fight? What a performance! I must be honest. I love Miesha Tate to bits, and I never rated her as that much of a good fighter, although she had the title and she beat Holly Holmes and all that.
She had two very nice you said titles. Oh,
Titles, yeah.
Sorry.
So yeah, I wasn't happy when I heard it coming back. I thought it was going to be like a short run, but wow, what an impressive performance!
What a win.
And again, a change of camp, brought in all the right people. And look at that, and I think she's got a viable shot. Yeah. I really do.
The part that makes it more impressive, we'll close off now. I mean, we just criticized Connor for doing all of those exact same thing and getting the results wrong. Taking 5-6 years off. Misha Tate comes in and takes 5-6 years off. 2 kids. Gets back into training camp. Surrounds herself with the right people. Can I tell you what the difference is? Humbleness.
Yeah, 100%. She was so humble.
She was so humble coming in. She realized that, listen here, I might be fucking up my name. I can be ruining the reputation. I can be ruining the brand that is Misha Tate. However, I'm back after 2 kids. I want to give this another go. I want to have one more run at the belt. And she came back. She was humbled. Good training team. Make sure that she kept up with the game. Got the win on a main card.
Got the right people around, and you know, she said it was like a science sport. It's like something that they've never done. She said it is a science. It was a numbers game.
She said it was her easiest weight cut.
Yeah,
she said it was her easiest weight. I mean, after 2 kids, a woman after 2 kids telling her that to cut weight to the fight has been her easiest weight cut.
What a story!
Science behind it.
And also she said, you know, she's willing to take on Holly Holm again. What a fight that would be. You know, yeah, she's willing to take on.
What a fight!
Yeah, so. I mean, she got hiding in the first fight, although she won rear naked choke right in the end.
Are we gonna sing? Are we gonna sing that "You're Just Too Good to Be True"? We sing that one with
but we'll the guy in the crowd.
We'll do it with Misha.
With Misha Tate. That was his Holly Holm.
We'll do it with Misha.
Yeah, all right, guys. Misha Tate, well done there. Something we didn't get a chance to talk about. I'm a big fan. I'm an even bigger fan now, and you know, it'll be interesting to see where her career goes. You know, very interesting. Holly Holm, we love you too.
Yeah, so, you're just too good to be true. All right, guys, have a lekker one, and we'll catch up again soon.
All right, keep well. Good luck out there today.
Cheers.